Picture this. You wake up Tuesday morning, check your phone, coffee in hand. Then you see the notification. Markets closed, banks limiting withdrawals. Your savings account untouched, unspent just lost half its value. Overnight, not theory, not someday, today. Impossible. That's what they said in Rome, in Spain, in Germany. In 2008, every single time people woke up believing their money was safe. By sunset, the rules had changed, the difference between then and now. We have the pattern. We can see it coming. But here's the question that haunts me. If we can see the pattern, why are we following the script? This isn't speculation. This is history with your name written in the margins, your grocery bill, your rent, your retirement account that's losing purchasing power while the statements say you're breaking even. The pattern doesn't announce itself with sirens. It whispers through inflation data and debt statistics until one morning, the whisper becomes a scream. So let me ask you something. What if the day the dollar dies isn't some distant apocalypse? What if it's already happening? Just slowly enough that we've learned to call it normal. To understand what's coming, what might already be here, we need to go back, not to study dusty history, to recognize the present. Because every currency collapse in recorded history followed the same script. 8 stages, predictable, documented, inevitable, and less interrupted. And we're at stage 7, history doesn't repeat, they say. But it rhymes. And right now, if you know the verses, the rhyme is unmistakable. What I'm about to show you won't appear on tonight's news. It's too slow for headlines, too complex for sound bites, but it's documented in central bank reports, buried in economic data, visible in your household budget if you know where to look. If your grocery bill climbed 30% while your salary moved 5%, that's not randomness. That's not just inflation. It's stage 5 of an 8-stage pattern that's destroyed every major currency in history. We're past stage 5 now, moving into 6, accelerating toward 7. The question isn't whether the pattern exists. Economics textbooks document it. Historical archives prove it. The question is, how much time is left? The terrifying answer from history is nobody knows until it's over. Let me take you to ancient Rome, 235 AD, but not the Rome you learned about, the Rome that ordinary people lived in, the Rome that felt permanent. Marcus Aurelius Severus counted coins in his shop on the Via Appia, a pottery merchant. 3rd generation, his grandfather built the business with silver denarial money that clinked with substance in your hand, 95% pure silver. Each coin was worth exactly what it contained. Source: the Roman monetary system. Crawford, Cambridge University Press. Business was good. The empire stretched from Hadrian's Wall to the Euphrates River. Trade routes hummed with commerce. Cities gleamed with marble and gold. 2 centuries of Pax Romana had created wealth beyond imagination. Everyone believed it would last forever. It wouldn't. The crisis started at the borders. Germanic tribes pushed south. Persian armies threatened from the east. Each war cost fortunes, and Rome was running out of silver. The solution seemed simple. Make the coins look the same but contain less silver. Same weight, same imperial stamp, just ... Less actual value inside. The denarius that was 95% silver became 90%, then 80%, then 50%. By 268 AD, just 33 years later, it contained 5% silver. Source: Debasement and Currency Crisis in Ancient Rome. Harrell, Johns Hopkins University. A 95% reduction in actual value. While the government insisted the coin was worth exactly the same, Marcus noticed, every merchant noticed. The coins felt lighter, rang differently when dropped. It looked duller, so prices went up to compensate. Bread that cost 1 denarius now cost 2, then 4. Then nobody could predict next week's prices. Here's what that looked like in human terms. Marcus had saved 15,000 denarii over 20 years, enough to retire, buy a farm, live comfortably. By 270 AD, those 15,000 coins bought 3 months of bread. 3 months from a lifetime of savings. His daughter couldn't marry no dowry. His son left Rome to become a soldier no choice. The family business his grandfather built vanished in a decade of currency. Debasement? That's what currency collapse does. Not to emperors in palaces, to merchants in shops, to families who did everything right, to you. And here's your modern parallel. The dollar has lost 98% of its purchasing power since 1913. Source: Bureau of Labor Statistics CPI calculator. Gradual enough that we call it normal, fast enough that your grandparents' advice about saving cash doesn't work anymore. Your eggs cost 200% more than in 2020. Source: USDA National Retail Report 2024. Same pattern, just spread over decades instead of years. But here's what they didn't see coming in Rome. When currency dies, society fractures. The crisis of the 3rd century lasted 50 years. 26 emperors, most assassinated. The empire split into 3 competing states. Trade collapsed, cities shrank, literacy declined. The civilization that built the Colosseum couldn't maintain basic roads, all because they thought they could print their way to prosperity. This pattern didn't die with Rome. It went dormant for centuries, then awakened with horrifying clarity in the modern age. Germany, November 1923, the pattern's most violent expression. But let me take you to October 1 month before the collapse peaked. When people still believed things might stabilize, Anna Weiss taught piano in Berlin. I am 48 years old, widowed. She had saved 180,000 marks in the Reichsbank, her husband's life insurance, her own savings, everything. Enough to live comfortably for 20 years at 1918 prices. Every economic advisor said government bonds were safe, the safest investment possible. The full faith and credit of the German state. October 1923, prices doubled every 3 days. Anna watched her grocery bill multiply daily. Eggs that cost 500 marks on Monday cost 1,000 marks on Thursday. She'd never seen anything like it. Nobody had. Source: When Money Dies, Ferguson, Public Affairs. Then came November. The printing presses ran 24 hours a day. The government printed money on one side only, no time to print both sides. $1 equaled 4.2 trillion marks by month's end. Source: German Historical Institute, Weimar Hyperinflation Archives. Not billion, trillion. Anna's 180,000 marks, her entire safety net bought. 1 loaf of bread? 1. She stood in the bakery shaking, trying to understand how 48 years of careful saving could vanish in 3 weeks. The baker looked at her with pity. He'd seen 100 Annas that week. She sold her piano, then her furniture, then her apartment. By December, she was living with her sister's family, sleeping on a couch, broken by mathematics she couldn't comprehend. She died in 1928, age 53, never having recovered financially or emotionally. The currency collapse didn't just take her money, it took her future, her dignity, her will to continue. That's the human cost of monetary collapse, not economic statistics, not policy debates. Real people, real suffering, real lives destroyed by decisions made in government buildings by people who never missed a meal. And here's the connection nobody wants to acknowledge. Student loan debt in America hit $1.7 trillion in 2024. Source: Federal Student Aid data. That debt is mathematically unpayable by an entire generation. Average payment $503 monthly. Average rent $1,950. Average grocery bill $450. Healthcare $250. Transportation $350. That's $3,503 before savings, entertainment, emergencies. Source: Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Expenditure Survey 2024. Median take-home pay for recent graduates, $3,100. Source: National Association of Colleges and Employers. The math doesn't work. When debt becomes unpayable, governments have 3 choices: default and face social collapse, austerity and face political collapse, or inflated away-make, the debt payable, by making the currency worthless. Guess which one they always choose? You're watching it happen. Your rent increase is the mechanism. Your grocery bill is the proof. The pattern didn't stop at Weimar. It repeated with mechanical precision across the 20th century. Zimbabwe, November 2008. Another November, notice the pattern. Collapses love November. Dr. Emmanuel Chikwanda was a surgeon in Harare, respected upper middle class. He earned Zimbabwe dollars that his patients paid him. He saved those dollars in a national bank. Then the currency died. Not metaphorically, literally died. By November 2008, Zimbabwe printed a $100 trillion note. Source: Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe historical currency data. That note bought 3 eggs. The inflation rate hit 89.76% annually. Source: Cato Institute Hankris Hyperinflation Table Read. That again, sextillion. Dr. Chiquanda's life savings, his pension, his nest egg became worthless paper. Patients stopped coming because they couldn't afford care. He started accepting payment in bread, fuel, anything real. A surgeon bartering like a medieval peasant because the currency had become decorative paper. His daughter was at university in South Africa. He couldn't send tuition. She dropped out. I came home, worked as a housemaid for a foreign diplomat, only jobs that paid in US dollars. A doctor's daughter cleaning houses because her father's currency died. That's what happens at stage 8 of the pattern. Education stops, healthcare collapses, society regresses. The modern becomes medieval overnight. And here's what keeps me awake. Zimbabwe wasn't ancient history. 2008, the same year Lehman Brothers collapsed. The same year, America chose to print $4.5 trillion. Source: Federal Reserve balance sheet data, different scale, same choice, same pattern. This brings us to the moment that changed everything. The moment when the modern empire faced its test and made the choice every empire makes. September 15, 2008. Monday morning, I remember exactly where I was. Everyone my age does. Lehman Brothers, 158 years old, $639 billion in assets filed for bankruptcy. Source: Lehman Brothers Chapter 11, filing the 4th largest investment bank in America. Gone before lunch. The financial system froze. Banks stopped trusting each other. Credit markets seized. The dominoes started falling. Bear Stearns, Washington Mutual, Wetchavia AIG needed $180 billion to survive the week. Source: Federal Reserve emergency lending data. The Federal Reserve faced the choice. The same choice Rome faced, the same choice Weimar faced. Let the collapse happen, purge the system, face depression, but preserve the currency or print money. Buy time, kick the can down the road. Hope somehow, this time, it's different. They printed $4.5 trillion through quantitative easing. Source: Federal Reserve QE programs 2008 to 2014. They didn't call it debasement. They called it monetary stimulus, liquidity injection, asset purchases. The language changed. The mechanism didn't. Jennifer Martinez managed retirement accounts in Phoenix, 42,000 clients. Teachers, nurses, firefighters, people who lived paycheck to paycheck and saved every dollar they could for retirement. In 2008, U.S. Treasury bonds seemed perfect safe, guaranteed by the government, steady returns. But Jennifer saw something others missed. She ran the 30-year projections. With interest rates near zero and money supply exploding, bonds were losing purchasing power. Her clients' retirement accounts showed stable balances. The numbers weren't changing. But the purchasing power, declining 3 to 5% annually, in 20 years, a $1 million retirement account would buy what $550,000 bought in 2008. She tried to warn clients. They didn't understand. The statements looked fine. The balances stayed steady. How could they be losing money? Because currency debasement is invisible until suddenly it's not. The pattern operates in silence until the day it explodes. She shifted allocations, more inflation-protected securities, commodities, international diversification. The colleagues thought she was paranoid, but Jennifer had studied Weimar. She recognized the pattern. She saw the same 3 warning signs that appeared before every collapse. Warning sign 1, unsustainable debt. U.S. national debt reached $35.9 trillion by October 2024. Interest payments alone cost $1.1 trillion annually. Source: Congressional Budget Office 2024, more than defense spending, more than Medicare, just interest. Warning sign 2, monetary expansion. Money supply increased 40% between 2020 and 2022. Source: Federal Reserve M2 money stock data. The dollars in your wallet didn't multiply. The dollars in existence did. Each dollar you hold becomes 40% less unique, less rare, less valuable. Warning sign 3, loss of foreign confidence. China reduced U.S. Treasury holdings from $1.30 trillion to $775 billion since 2013. Source: U.S. Treasury tick data, 2024, Japan scaled back. Saudi Arabia diversified. Foreign ownership of U.S. debt dropped from 34% to 24%. Source: Federal Reserve, International Holdings data. 3 warnings, same order, every empire, every time. Rome's foreign merchants stopped accepting debased coins. Spain's creditors walked away after repeated defaults. Weimar's trading partners demanded payment in gold or foreign currency. Now China exits dollar holdings. The pattern doesn't care about military might or technological innovation or reserve currency status. It just executes. I like physics. I like mathematics. Like gravity pulling water downhill. So what does this mean for you? For less? For right now? Let's make this brutally personal. Let's talk about your actual life this week. Groceries. A gallon of milk will cost $3.10 in 2020 today. $5.20. Source, USDA price reports. That's 68% inflation in 4 years. Ground beef went from $3.89 per pound to $6.45 to 66% increase. Bread jumped from $1.89 to $3.29. Your paycheck increased 5.4% on average. Source, BL's real earnings data. The gap. That's your wealth being transferred, not taxed, not stolen, just ... eroded. Rent. Median 2-bedroom apartment costs $1,950 nationally in 2024. In 2020, $1,200. Source, Zillow Rent Index. That's 62.5% in 4 years. Did your income climb 62.5%? The pattern doesn't appear in economic journals first. It appears in your mailbox. Every month demanding more dollars for the same roof. Healthcare. Family insurance premiums hit $24,368 in 2024. Your share averages $7,102 annually. Source, Kaiser Family Foundation survey in 2020. $4,980, a 42% jump. And the coverage worse. Higher deductibles, more exclusions, paying more for less. The pattern at work, savings. If you saved $10,000 in 2020, its purchasing power today equals $7,700. Source, CPI inflation calculator. You didn't spend it. You lost $2,300 anyway. That's the invisible tax of currency debasement. They don't withdraw it from your account. They just make every dollar worth less. Legal, quiet, devastating. But we have technology now, right? Cryptocurrency promised to break the cycle. Bitcoin decentralized, limited supply, immune to government manipulation. It hit $69,000 in November 2021. Source, CoinMarketCap. Freedom from the pattern at last. Then, reality hit. Bitcoin crashed to $16,000 by November 2022, a 77% collapse. Source, CoinMarketCap historical data. FTX, the second largest exchange, imploded overnight. $32 billion in customer funds vanished. Source, FTX bankruptcy filing. The founder got arrested. Customers got nothing. Different technology, same human psychology, same boom-bust cycle. The pattern doesn't care about innovation. It cares about mathematics. Even artificial intelligence, the cutting edge of human achievement, can't solve ancient economic cycles. Algorithmic trading manages trillions. On May 6, 2010, algorithms triggered the flash crash. $1 trillion in market value disappeared in minutes. Source, SEC CFTC joint report. Machines can't predict human panic. They amplify it. See the pattern? Every generation believes technology makes them immune. Every generation discovers that human nature, fear, greed, short-term thinking remains constant. Rome had better roads than anyone. Spain had more gold than imaginable. Germany had cutting-edge industry. America has the internet. The pattern claimed them all. And here's what terrifies me. The cycle accelerates. Rome took 50 years to collapse from debasement. Spain took 90 years of defaults. Weimar took 5 years from stability to hyperinflation. The 2008 crisis almost destroyed the global system in 5 months. Each iteration happens faster because money moves faster. Information spreads faster. Panic cascades faster. The next crisis won't announce itself with years of warning. It'll arrive on a Tuesday, probably when you're drinking coffee, checking your phone, believing today will be like yesterday. Then the notification appears. Markets closed. Banks limiting withdrawals. Your digital balance is unchanged. Your purchasing power halved. Impossible. Every empire thought so. Every currency thought itself permanent. The Roman denarius lasted 500 years before collapsing. The British pound ruled global trade for 200 years before its crisis. The dollar has been the world reserve currency for 80 years. History suggests no currency lasts forever. History suggests our turn is coming. But here's the cruelest part. We have more warning than any civilization in history. We studied Rome's mistakes. We documented Spain's defaults. We lived through Weimar's hyperinflation. We barely survived 2008. We have 2,000 years of pattern data. We know exactly what's coming. And we're following the script anyway, stage by stage, choice by choice. Like actors so committed to their roles, they can't imagine improvising. 5 empires, 5 collapses, same stages, same warnings, same ending, each thought they were different. Each had reasons to believe the pattern wouldn't claim them. Each was wrong. The question echoing through history is simple. What makes us think we're the exception? I don't know when the dollar will die. Nobody does. That's the thing about patterns. They don't announce their endpoints. They just arrived. Rome thought they had decades. They had 10 years. Germany thought they had years. They had weeks. Lehman Brothers thought they had time. They had hours. What I do know is this: the pattern is real. The warning signs are present. And history has never been wrong about what comes next. So here's what I can't stop thinking about. If we see the pattern, if the evidence is overwhelming, if we know what's coming, then why aren't we demanding different choices? Why are we accepting the same script that's destroyed every major currency in history? Are we trapped by the pattern? Or are we choosing it? Look at your grocery receipt from today. Compare it to 2 years ago. Look at your rent, your savings account balance. Now look at the interest rate near zero. Your money is sitting still, losing purchasing power, while statements tell you everything's fine. That disconnect between what you're told and what you're experiencing, that's the pattern made visible. So let me ask you, when did you first realize something was wrong? Not when media reported inflation. When did you feel it? Was it filling your gas tank? Buying groceries? Getting your rent notice? The moment you understood your savings were eroding just sitting there. Drop a comment. Tell me your moment. Because here's what I'm learning. The people who recognize the pattern first aren't economists or policymakers. They're parents buying groceries, workers paying rent, families watching their purchasing power vanish in real time. The pattern reveals itself in everyday life before it appears in textbooks. And here's my question for you. If history is a pattern and we're living through stage 7 of 8, what are you doing differently? Not financial advice, just awareness. What do you see that others miss? How are you preparing for a future that rhymes with history? Let me know below. I read every single comment. Next week, we're going somewhere darker. There's one decision every collapsing empire makes at the final moment. One choice at the precipice. One move that could change everything or seal the fate. In 2,000 years of recorded history, no empire has ever made the right choice at this moment. Not one will we be the first. Or will we prove the pattern perfect? You won't want to miss it. Because if this pattern holds if history is truly prologued, then what comes next will define a generation. If this made you see your grocery bill differently, your savings account differently, your future differently, hit subscribe. Because the pattern doesn't end here. There are cycles in employment and asset bubbles in the political aftermath of economic collapse. Patterns that will affect your job, your savings, your children's future. Every week, we connect history to your household budget. We make the invisible visible. Thank you for watching this through, for thinking with me, for seeing what most people are trained to ignore. If you want to understand where we're headed by studying where empires have gone before, subscribe. More patterns, more history, more uncomfortable truths. I'll see you in the next one.